Welcome back, everyone. We'll examine Denise Boggs' response to some quite severe allegations on Rachel Lamb's most recent show in this video. Rachel defended Pete by pointing out that Denise was lying. Denise has now spoken her opinion containing significant details that cast doubt on Rachel's claim. Let's start by examining one of the primary issues, Debbie Linhart's purported exoneration. On her show, Rachel stated that Pete and his spouse were exonerated following their consultation with Debbie Linhart, a forensic child psychologist. Denise is adamantly against this. She makes it apparent that there was a session, but Debbie clarified that Pete wasn't complying and would only respond to a few direct questions, so she was unable to do a thorough review. Debbie reportedly told Denise in a private conversation that more sessions were required to reach a decision. What was said by Denise? Professional validation. Pete is acquitted. In order to pursue the accusations against Pete and his wife, they met with forensic child psychologist Debbie Linhart, LSC, on August 20th, 2021. Pete's wife asked Denise Boggs if she could attend the interview or whether Debbie wanted to speak with Pete alone in order to ensure that the procedure adhered to professional standards. Debbie assured Denise she was certain she wanted to speak with Pete and his wife simultaneously. Following this decision, Denise, Debbie, Pete, and his wife met, and Debbie conducted a thorough and in-depth interview with them. Debbie asked a lot of specific questions during the session, and Pete and his wife responded completely and honestly, demonstrating their willingness to cooperate and manage things well. Debbie stated during the discussion that she believed the entire situation was a huge family problem brought on by years of rivalry, envy, and discord, and that none of this would stand up in court. Following the meeting, Denise escorted Debbie to her vehicle where they conversed. Denise informed Pete and his wife that Pete was innocent as soon as she entered. Did you speak those words? Definitely not. Absolutely not at all. How, after all, could someone get rid of something so horrible in a single session? Indeed, yes, and the problem was that it continued for a long time because Rachel would respond to Debbie's queries. Debbie persisted in attempting to extract an answer from Pete, but to no avail. When we arrived at the car, that was the conversation. She said, I wasn't even able to give a full evaluation because she added he didn't really answer a single question himself. I can't do anything was her second statement to them all. They were clearly quite distressed since they had no idea what this would mean when I returned inside. What does this signify? Since there is absolutely no resolution here, it caused me to worry about them. I believe that I said, I know this is hard, but you need to understand that there will need to be another or maybe two more of these in order to settle this. All I wanted to do was let them know that there were other things going on. They're all obviously shocked and anxious about what happened to them, but it wasn't the end. What you heard is confirmed by Denise. According to Debbie, Rachel made it difficult for her to do a thorough study because she answered the majority of the questions rather than letting Pete do it. In her podcast, Rachel claimed that she immediately texted her father to inform him that Pete had been found not guilty. When Denise discovered that Pete's wife had texted Marcus Lamb to claim Pete was innocent, she was taken aback. Because you and Marcus both liked the Lamb family, it was simple for them to trust you. Yes, yes, and yes. The wife was nervous and asking questions during the session because we knew she was upset. However, I was unaware that she was thinking, oh, everything's fine, and then she texted Marcus after I attempted to reassure them and explain what was about to happen. When they were ready to depart, I stood with them both and said, now, nothing was settled here. Nothing I was unaware that she had texts. I repeated it. Actually, it wasn't until I read this that I realized the text had been sent. Yes, you were unaware of all of it. I was also unaware of that. There is a cover-up here. Do you see that? Here's the lie. All right, Marcus claims that she can understand everything on her own. Denise claimed to be unaware of these texts and to have been adamant that Pete and his wife had not granted her permission to read them. People may have felt better after reading the materials, but they were based on a fictitious or inaccurate description of what Debbie Linhart discovered. According to Denise, this miscommunication had a significant role in the family's dissemination of misleading information. According to Denise, Rachel texted her father to tell him to end the probe after informing him that Pete was innocent. However, this was untrue, and it was Rachel's action that prevented the probes from continuing. After the lesson, Pete's actions are equally crucial. Denise claims that even after she made it apparent that she lacked the authority to provide formal evidence of her innocence, Pete persisted in requesting it. He pushed her until the day of Marcus Lamb's burial, which Denise recalls as being extremely impolite at the time. Pete even made the absurd suggestion that I should write it on business paper. Since I knew it was untrue and incorrect, I declined. Denise's thoughts on it were as follows. After that, Mark and Joni arranged for Denise to travel to Dallas in order to embark on a recovery plan. You told me that Pete kept approaching you 3 times to ask, can you clear me up when you were last here, MS Denise? Tell me if I'm mistaken. Why would Pete keep asking you that if he was proven not guilty? I get your point. Yes, exactly. I get it. Because he wasn't proven not guilty, he would keep asking me. As I repeatedly told Pete, I can't, when you return, you must meet with MS. Debbie Linhart, a licensed professional counselor. I'm not. Well, if you put it on business letterhead, it will count, right? He replied further. That wouldn't work either. I informed them and I couldn't do it. No, I don't know license. MS. Denise, is that what he actually said? But if you put it on business letterhead, it might work, he replied, but that was completely untrue. Do you think he asked you to participate in a lie? I get it. That's precisely what I think. I had one more thing to say after that. I let it fall. I informed him that was not possible. Yes, I did mention that you would need to return. No, he said, that was very hard. And I will not repeat that difficult session. However, didn't he use that word? He continued, I'm not going to answer those painful questions again. Yes, yes, yes. Well, I understand that he had a difficult time. Rachel's going through a difficult period. Everyone is in pain now, though. Indeed, since no one has ever been acquitted due to the lack of authorization, because it should have been used appropriately. Could you tell me why, knowing that you can't clear Pete's name, he would continue to annoy you? What's stopping him from simply going to the appropriate person and getting his name cleared? Exactly. Indeed, yes, I am aware that it is illogical, because I told you I already knew by the 3rd time. I am unable to. Where were you the 3rd time, Miss Denise, most likely the final time? At the time, where were you? Yes, this is the final occasion. It was after the service that he did. To attend the service, I traveled to Dallas. I asked after he drew me away. Are you referring to the funeral day? Are you saying that it's been an hour since the funeral ended? Indeed. And he's curious. I can't recall how long it lasted. It appears that I was in their vehicle with them. All right, indeed. I also can't recall. But you believe it was the same day? It was the same day indeed? On the same day? That is what matters most? Why don't you give it, he questioned. I informed them I was unable to. I repeated it, I am unable to, I'm without a license. Since MS, Debbie Linhart was the one who initially began to ask concerns. As I have already stated, the only way to resolve this would be to meet with her once more. And the tale would need to continue. All right, 3 months later, Denise's troubling transformation. Denise Boggs' deeds contribute to this unsettling tale. In addition to breaking confidentiality laws by disclosing personal information about her clients, Denise distorted the narrative by altering it over time. Why would Denise travel to Dallas to try to mend the family's relationship if she truly believed Pete had done anything wrong? Her actions at the time indicate that she didn't believe anyone was acting improperly, and her choice to discuss the upsetting information 38 months later appears to have been driven more by retaliation against Daystar following their breakup than by a sincere desire for justice. No lie was told. What the facts are is obvious. Joni and Marcus told the truth about everything. Throughout the entire process, Pete has been truthful and supportive, going above and above to address these unfounded accusations. The conflicting and constantly shifting stories of Jonathan, Susie, Denise, and Debbie reveal the reality. The foundation of this whole scenario is deceit, lying, and retaliation. The reality is obvious. No lie was told. Furthermore, the entire scenario is a horrendous exaggeration of reality. Everything we've been stating is supported by what Susie stated to Julie Royce in her final words. Pete was not involved in this. Letting their daughter go isn't the point. The goal is to pursue Joni, set Daystar aside, and attempt to avoid seeing her. It has always been about control and power, never about safety or the truth. Furthermore, I was unaware that Marcus had received a text from his wife stating that Pete was no longer guilty. I'm now making repeated attempts to get them to return. According to Marcus, oh, that makes sense. That would even account for why I subsequently receive a call asking me to cease everything. Don't take any more action. All right, I understand. I didn't know. Yes, it wasn't until today that I learned about the SMS message to Marcus. The fact that Susie and Jonathan were unaware is equally intriguing. We now understand that Marcus and Joni were providing us with false information as a result. That's why they struck so forcefully. He's been exonerated. Now, why you would believe that someone could be cleared in a single encounter is beyond me. Another meeting is coming up. It is illogical from that perspective. But it's obvious that they were informed of this. Since I had previously branded it a lie, what they stated was thus not a lie. But it wasn't a lie. Nevertheless, they had little interest in this writing concerning the youngster and the beach incident. Joni and Marcus truly didn't want this to occur. They stated it wouldn't happen on the day of the beach. This tale demonstrates the value of being forthright, accountable, and truthful. Denise's statement clarifies what transpired and highlights the need for further investigation and reconciliation within the Lamb family. How do you feel about this tense circumstance? In the box below, write your response. Rachel's podcast comment helped uncover some of the missing details of this cover-up story. I appreciate you viewing it. Please share and subscribe if you enjoyed this film so you can follow the plot as it develops.